Hello everyone, welcome to Big Friendly Grab. I hope you are safe and well and feeling great. Now I am partial to a cheesecake. You might be able to tell this from watching the channel from before. It is one of my favourite desserts. I've made a New York baked cheesecake on the channel before. I have made a quick 30-minute cheesecake before, but I haven't done a cheesecake that's suitable for vegans. And why should vegans miss out just because they choose to forego meat and dairy product? Now I know what you're thinking, surely it's not a cheesecake if it doesn't have cheese in it. And technically you might be right, but we're still going to be making something that's so close to a cheesecake that you probably won't be able to tell that it's not a cheesecake, even though we're going to be using tofu. And you might think, tofu, but give it a chance, it's going to be really good. And we're going to be using a silken tofu, and that's going to give us a lovely creamy texture like we would usually get from our cream cheese. And we're going to be making this a white chocolate and blueberry tofu cheesecake, and it's going to be fantastic. It's going to have a Biscoff biscuity base, and it is going to be so good. So let's not wait to get started. Let's get cracking with our tofu cheesecake. Let's go. Now any decent cheesecake needs a really good biscuity base, so I'm going to be using Lotus Biscoff biscuits. They are fantastic and they also happen to be vegan, but if you can't get hold of these, then use any vegan biscuit you can get hold of. I think hobnobs are good as well. Whatever your preferred vegan biscuit of choice is, use that. And we are going to be using Biscoff today because they are absolutely fantastic and brilliant for cheesecake. These are going into my food processor. If you don't have a food processor, you could bash these up in a plastic bag using a rolling pin, but I do have a food processor, so I am going to be using that. So I'm going to blitz these up into a crumb. 20 seconds later and they are blitzed up into a fine crumb, very fine crumb. And now we want to be able to bind this together. Usually this is where we would use butter, but obviously we're not using butter today. So I'm going to be using 30 grams worth of coconut oil and 20 grams worth of a vegan spread. That will just give us kind of that buttery flavour, and the coconut oil will just help to bind it together better than that spread would by itself. So I'm just going to go melt this in the microwave for about 30 seconds. We pop that into here and just quickly bring that all together for about 10 seconds. So that's brought it into something that's a bit more malleable now. So that's going to be going into a base of a glass for our cheesecake, because we're not making whole cheesecakes today. I'm going to make a couple of smaller ones, kind of like I did with our quick 30-minute cheesecakes. So I've got a couple of my nice glasses here, and I'm just going to divide this mixture into the two of them. Trying not to get too much of it everywhere. Failing. Then I'm just going to try and press this down as much as I can with a wooden spoon. There we go, we've got two nice cheesecake bases in our glasses now, so I'm going to just pop these into the fridge to firm up for a bit while we can work on our cheesecake filling. Now before we start on the tofu part of our tofu cheesecake, we're going to need to start on the blueberry part. So I've just got here a pan over a medium heat, and I just want a couple of nice handfuls of blueberries to go into this pan. Save a few for decoration later. That'll probably be lovely. That's a good amount, just covering the base of the pan there. And we just want to leave these in the pan over that heat, just so that the juices come out of it, so that we get a really nice colour and flavour in our cheesecake later. Maybe just move them around the pan every now and again with a wooden spoon, just to make sure they don't stick to the bottom of the pan and burn. But just otherwise leave those, you don't really need to do anything else with those. So now we can get on with the main part of our cheesecake. Now to get started on with our tofu cheesecake filling, we're going to need some tofu. I've got silken tofu here. You can see it's got the name because it's lovely and silky, and it's a bit softer than firm tofu. You don't want firm tofu, you want silken tofu. So we're going to pop that in. There's 350 grams worth there. And to that we're going to add 200 millilitres of soy cream as well. And then we're going to pop on my lid and blitz that up until it's lovely and smooth. So you can see that's come out really lovely and smooth and creamy. But we're not done, we need to add to this, because I said this was a white chocolate and blueberry one, and I've got some vegan white chocolate here. You can pick that up in some supermarkets, or you might be able to get it online. So I'm going to go get this melted in the microwave in probably about 10-second bursts. And I'm just going to pop that in there. There's about 100 grams worth there, if I didn't mention that before. And we also need about 40 grams worth of caster sugar. Don't use icing sugar because that's not always necessarily vegan, because sometimes it has egg in it. Then lastly, about a teaspoon's worth of vanilla extract. Then back on with the lid. You might be able to do this with a hand whisk, but it would have to be a really good hand whisk, because you'd have to really get that tofu up really nice and smooth, otherwise it's going to be really chunky and it won't be very nice. Power back on and then blitz that again for probably about 30 seconds just to combine everything. So you can see that's come into a really lovely and smooth mixture. So we can get this divided up into our cheesecake glasses. So I've got my glasses here with my lovely biscuity base in, and I'm just going to pour, not all of this, I want to leave about a third behind, but I'm going to try and divide the rest of this between the two glasses fairly evenly. So those are looking fairly even and looking really nice. So I'm going to pop these back into the fridge and we can finish off the last part of our blueberry and white chocolate tofu cheesecakes. So back over to our food processor, I've got the last third of our cheesecake mixture that I saved to one side. And into here, I'm going to pop our blueberries into it. I don't know if you can see in this lighting, but they have come out as some really juicy blueberries. All the juices have come out, made them a bit syrupy. So we're going to add them into our mixture. I really wanted these to be raspberries because I prefer raspberries over blueberries, but we didn't have any in the shop, so we have got blueberries. But you could use raspberries, and that is my preference. Then back on with the lid and set that off again for about 30 seconds. And there, look at that absolutely magnificent colour. It is fantastic. Purple is my favourite colour, and that looks amazing. So I've got my cheesecakes back out, and I'm just going to divide the blueberry mixture of this into the two of these glasses. Look at that colour, isn't that amazing? And I'm just going to spread that out to the edges so we get a nice layer of that blueberry across the top. And there we go, that looks lovely. And I'm just going to pop these into the fridge for probably about an hour now just to set up a bit. But those are looking fantastic. So our cheesecakes have had some time to chill in the fridge and they're lovely, and they've got a little bit of a wobble on top, but that's absolutely fine. So I'm just going to get these decorated. You don't have to do this, but it's just a nice touch. So I'm going to decorate these with a few blueberries on top. Also a few flaked almonds as well, because why the heck not? There we go, that is it. That is our white chocolate and blueberry tofu cheesecakes all done, and there's nothing left to do but give one a try. It's before lunchtime on a Sunday. I am going to be eating cheesecake, please don't judge me. And there we go, one lovely white chocolate and blueberry tofu cheesecake. Didn't take very long at all, super simple, probably less than 30 minutes just to put the cheesecake itself together, and then you have to wait a bit of time for it to set. About an hour probably in the fridge. Maybe less than that if you put it in the freezer, but just keep an eye on it. You don't want to freeze it solid, but that's come together really well. I think everyone will be able to enjoy this one. Vegans, non-vegans, it's going to be tough to tell that it is actually a vegan cheesecake, I think. So let's give it a go. I've got my spoon here. Yes, I keep a spoon in my back pocket in case of emergencies. I'm going to get right down in there and try and get some of that base, some of that blueberry, and some of the middle bit as well. It is about 11, half 11 on a Sunday. But who cares? It's cheesecake time. Oh yeah. Oh, that is super creamy. That is really nice. You get that hit of blueberry, and you get some of the white chocolate, a little bit of the vanilla extract, and you get that lovely, like, burnt sugary taste of the Biscoff. It's wonderful. That is really good. That is really tasty. That's a really good cheesecake. I'm going in for more. That is a super tasty cheesecake, whichever way you cut it. That's really good. And it's really simple. Doesn't take very long at all, like I said. And it is a cheesecake that everyone can enjoy. It's a super vegan option. If you are going vegan, if you are vegan, you're thinking about being vegan, you want to try out something, if you've got like a hankering for cheesecake, think, oh, I don't know if I can give up cheesecake if I go vegan. You want to try out something, give that a go. If you've got vegan guests coming over, then give this a go as well. It's really worth a try. It's really good, really tasty. So that is it from me this week. I hope you enjoyed the video. Oh, I'm losing my voice a bit. But yes, if you did like the video, then like it. If you're enjoying what I'm doing, subscribe to the channel. But otherwise, have a lovely weekend or whatever you're doing, whatever day of the week you're watching this. And I will see you next time on Big Friendly Grub. I'm gonna go finish this off. It's basically my lunch. Bye. And we're gonna be making this a white chocolate and blueberry tofu. And we're gonna be making this a white chocolate and tofu. And we're going to be making this a white chocolate and tofu. And we're going to be making this a white chocolate and We're going to be making this a white chocolate and tofu.